Hi there, it's Jennifer Stream. Uh, what? A weekly live stream. What? You say? Say it's not so. Yes, there is. Uh, we need to do this weekly just for a little bit of love and assistance for all of us moving through all the intensity in the world. Never mind our own lives, right? I'm excited to have these Monday weeklies with you. So I'm Jennifer Hough. If you do not know me, looking at the topic, how can you achieve balance and fulfillment in your life? And in actuality, I should explain a little bit about what it is that we do. And what we do is we help people answer the question, what's the greatest thing I can do with the skills I already have, with the every morning, feeling inspired to get up and going to bed knowing that I had done the thing that I came here to do. So genetics, we actually use some pretty advanced tools. We're definitely, I would say, out there in the world. And you'll see by my answers to the particular topic today, which is around balance and fulfillment. Yeah, I mean, what if you could live free of worrying about your own judgments, worry about the judgments of others, actually embodying your superpowers and actually living in overflow? Yay, right? So woohoo, I guess, is what I have to say. Thank you, Adam, for that that like very exciting celebration.
Just keeping it in.
Love you. Occasionally he's just gonna pop in some videos and some audios just for kicks and giggles. You know what I mean? By the way, Adam Lamb is my sweetie. So we're talking about balance. We're talking about fulfillment today, and the challenge really, before I get into balance and fulfillment, is that most people misidentify. They just think that overwhelm is the way it should be. Overwhelm or being busy all the time is just the way it is. Maybe you're juggling multiple responsibilities and feeling like there's not enough time for yourself. Maybe sometimes you wonder if it's possible, if that dream that you have can actually come true. Even just finding fulfillment over the course of the day where there's just one thing after the other. I'd love to hear from you, by the way, in the chat, how you feel about that, about balance and fulfillment. What's your feeling about that? How does that lack of balance and fulfillment manifest for you? So you might also be looking for practical ways to find harmony in your everyday. So you actually, for me, so that you actually have overflow. So in our work, it's all about living in overflow. Balance and fulfillment would be like the booby prize. It's actually about having overflow of time, because when you actually when you harness the laws of physics, you have the capacity to have more energy on less sleep, have more time on less effort. So in these live streams, we'll be picking on topics that are important to you. And by the way, you can always suggest a topic as you get to know me into the comment field, and we'll pick up on it. And I'll remind you to do that every time, by the way. So in true Jennifer form, here's the thing. The problem is that balance is a misnomer. What is balance? Well, first of all, balance is different for everyone. But secondly, if you tap into the word balance, can't you feel that trying to find balance, like, every day is different from the last? What I can say is that what we're gonna focus on is taking you off So this is my intent, to start to shift your paradigm, taking you off the focus of the word balance and put you onto the focus of the word presence. Because if you are in your presence, then you are going to be able to know exactly what to do on any given day, and it's not going to be another thing to manage. Balance becomes another thing to manage. What if you just had a way of being that had you consistent? What if your way of being actually had you in consistent flow of overflow of time and energy? That would be cool, right? Well, trying to manage balance is literally a very mental process, and it's going to keep you right in that state of overwhelm. Instead, we're going to focus today on presence instead, because that is not a mental exercise. This morning, I was noticing that one of our web pages was off, and that we were doing an event soon, and the web page was off, and actually other people managed that stuff for us, but we needed to get it done now. And because in my past life I used to be in all that stuff, writing clients, I couldn't go and clean the kitchen, I couldn't do all of those things that I was planning on doing. I literally had to jump in and do some other stuff, and all these things that my team usually does. And I could have been overwhelmed. So I always look to see in my body, is because you feel like you have overflow, you're excited to do what overflow, you're excited to do what you're doing, there is no neck tension, and you actually had a blast doing that this morning. I just switched gears, right? So when I am in overwhelm or not feeling balanced or fulfilled, when I'm in the dog eat dog world, which a lot of people live in every day, I fortunately, given the work we do, it's like slowly but surely we're getting to a place of embodying that sense of, for me though, when I do feel that way, is a sense of spaciousness. And I realize in those times that I need to reset. As soon as I get into have to, must, should, emergency mode, you do that. You go into fight or flight. And when you go into fight or flight, you amygdala, as soon as that part of your brain is in charge, the base of your brain that deals with emergencies. And I know some of you are walking around in emergency. What happens is the solutions that you get start to be all history based. And geez, I'll just call writing, even in emergency mode. If you work in an office, you'll do it with your. When you are coming from reaction, what happens is same day look like Groundhog Day every day. That actually is, and when you're going in a circle, from your brain are historical. When you get into stress, your emergency solution that comes from your history that will keep you going in circles. What we want in order to live a fulfilling life, by definition, a fulfilling life is a life lived in a spiral. It's to have being creative to get to solutions, implementing the solution next. People who want to, when we get into that place of overwhelm, we want to control. We want to keep everything the same. And when you're in control mode and trying to manage that control, again, you're going to go in circles because you're looking for historical solutions. Now, I'm going to say something based on physics and cosmology. For those of you who haven't heard this kind of speak before, it's not woo, it's actually science. 55,000 miles an hour in a spiral. It's not going in a circle. We're not going around the sun in a circle. In fact, even the solar system is miles an hour. Your energy systems of your body are spiraling. Your DNA is a spiral. The reason you stay on the planet and gravity works is because of the spiral. So when you're not being creative, when you are in stress and going in a circle, you are actually recreating the same life you've ever had, which is why it doesn't feel fulfilling. And so some of the solutions that I'm going to give you are going to be related to how you can have enough spaciousness in your day, how you can create your day so that you can be excited, so that you can be inspired to get up in the morning. Now, of course, our entire body of work, all the programs that we teach are how to embody living this way. So, it's, this one tip is going to get you on the road. So here are some practical strategies based on your brain being neuroplastic, i.e. not going in circles, that your brain can change. And I am going to say that time blocking is wonderful, but I'm not going to talk about that because there's tons of people talking about that out there. Here are the things that I do. And I do them. I remember going to listen to Marianne Williamson speak once. And she said that she takes quiet time to presence herself and create space every morning. By the way, that's not going to be one of my pieces of advice, but she said that in a workshop. And I remember this woman getting up to ask her a question and saying, Marianne, oh my God, with everything you do and all the work that you do in the world and how busy you are and writing books and all this kind of stuff, how do you ever manage to find time to find quiet time for yourself? And she said, I don't know. How do you find time to eat? How do you find time to drink? How do you find time to breathe? So what I'm telling you right now is these tips that I'm giving you are not tips. I breathe these. Literally, it's why the miraculous comes my way. So today I had 3 payments I wasn't expecting come in. And I can tell you that something like that happens to me every day. And that's because I put this infrastructure in place. So the first thing is I have an evidence book. At the end of every day, I actually collect evidence for what worked and what was towards my goals and dreams. I don't care if I can't see it at first. I will dig. I will literally, if I had the worst day ever, I will still put down, listen, my body breathed. I watched the sunset. You see what I mean? It makes a huge difference. So an evidence book, to be able to show yourself that you actually are in a spiral. Do you understand? That you're moving forward. This is how we find, it's like convincing your brain. You know how your brain can convince you that you're not moving forward and everything's going to hell in a handbasket and the world's going to crap and this and that and all that stuff. Well, in order to actually feel your movement forward and not let your brain and your fears take over, you have to collect evidence that something got bettered today, so that you can actually show your brain that something's true about your movement forward, rather than staying in a circle. Okay. So the next thing is that to maintain your movement forward, to be able to create the spaciousness, after every major meeting, including right now, I set an alarm. And I set an alarm to go outside, or to, which leads me to the third thing, which is making a list of things that allow you to reset your vibe, reset your emotional state, to get to that feeling of spaciousness I talked about earlier. You only need 5 minutes. So sometimes it's like closing the door, putting on loud music, and I just dance. And I'm telling you, it resets me right away. Even though my emergency mode says, have you ever had this? By the way, I'm sure you have. I think all of us have had it, where you get so in emergency mode that you couldn't possibly like shut the door and like create music and dance, right? So make a list of all of the things that create spaciousness for you, all the things that reset your energy. So for me, it could be anything from a bath to taking a cat nap to closing the door and putting on loud music and humming, to going outside and playing in my garden, to whatever it is. But I set an alarm. So first is a list. Second is I set an alarm, and I call these spaciousness breaks. It's like a break between worlds. A break between worlds means actually resetting. Like, imagine what your life would be like if you reset your energy after everything you did. So after this, I'm going to go out, I'm going to work in the garden, and I'm going to come back in, because it takes a different part of my brain to do what I'm doing next. And I want to fill my soul, even if I go out there for 10 minutes. So I'm talking about a grand total of maybe 45 minutes a day, 5 minutes at a time, resetting your vibe so you become emotionally available for what's in front of you, and you can be in your presence. You can be present to it. Because when you're in stress and in your amygdala, no creativity happens. You won't move forward, and your life will feel stagnant. But when you actually take those spaciousness breaks, and when you actually have a list that you can refer to and go, which one of these, it's basically a list that answers the question, what can I do to feel better now? And you make a list of, just keep adding to that list. Set an alarm after every single little chunk of your day, and you will start to have the experience of some fun, of some play, but more importantly, you'll start to create the spaciousness that allows you to tap into your creativity and your fun and great interactions with people. And you will be in your presence with people. There will be deeper meaning, deeper connection, and more creative solutions to what's around you. It's so simple. It's so simple. You don't need to justify your existence by making, or justify and prove your worth by making everything so hard. You can have more energy on less sleep. You can move forward. This is just such a small, this scratches the surface, but man, does it make a huge, huge difference. I'm just wondering if anyone has any questions right now about the idea. Remember, we shifted the word balance. We don't use the word balance in our work, because balance instantaneously puts you in your brain for solutions. We use the word being in your presence, fully in your presence, without being pulled by anything. And when you're there, you're living forward, answering the question, what is the greatest thing I can do with the least amount of effort, using the skills and tools and resources I already have that would have me waking up inspired and going to bed feeling fulfilled by what I contributed to the world today, right? So it is possible. All of these exercises are based in the laws of physics. And next Monday, we will do the same thing. One of the things that's key, though, is community and making sure that your brain gets the information it needs in order to stay on that fulfilling path. We have a community called the Agents of Awakening. And that community, you can join it for free for 30 days. If you find that you're someone who sabotages yourself, you can join the community free for 30 days and actually take our $500 program called Get Out of Your Own Way for free. Literally, it's our flagship program. So I really recommend that you start to understand some of the laws that have been governing this life that you may not have been tapped into. And just join for 30 days and go in there and start to understand the laws of physics that will allow you to change your life permanently. You'll see a link to sign up for those 30 days free. By the way, it's only $55 a month to join it. If I was to stay in that community, and you'll be around other people that are looking to transcend the jail of just the dog eat dog world. One of them is called the 12 master activations. It has you look at your family, relationships, love, money, and it gets your brain to talk to itself about a paradigm that's closer to the flow. And when you do that, it has your brain change its perception of life so that, again, you can move forward as opposed to feeling stuck in the stagnancy. And there's 12 of them. You can do one a day for 12 days. You could start there in the community if you wish. So I want to thank you all for joining me. Please, I'm in there. Tag me in a post if you're in Agents of Awakening and you just join. We also do a monthly call, and you can jump in and we answer questions to real life issues in there. So based on the laws of physics and epigenetics. So remember that achieving fulfillment will be the rest of your life. You know, this is all about the rest of your life. This is about how am I flying forward into the reason I was born. So we'll see you next Monday, and I'm going to finish with a quote, which I will every week. Remember that the issue is never the issue. That you made it the issue is actually the issue. And I am quoting actually Jennifer Hough in this case. So all right, you guys, lots of love, and we'll see you next Monday. Same bat time, same bat channel.